Have you ever noticed that the moment someone tells you, "Don't do that," you suddenly feel like doing it even more? It's strange, isn't it? Imagine a child who has dozens of toys lying around the room, but the moment a parent says, "Whatever you do, don't touch that red button," the child instantly becomes obsessed with that one thing. Or think about yourself. Has anyone ever told you that you probably couldn't achieve something, only for you to work twice as hard just to prove them wrong? If yes, then you've already experienced one of the most fascinating forces in human psychology, reverse psychology. Today we're going to uncover how this simple yet incredibly powerful psychological principle quietly shapes our decisions every single day. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why reverse psychology works but also learn how people use it in marketing, parenting, relationships, negotiations, and even social media. More importantly, you'll discover how to recognize when someone is using it on you, so you can make smarter decisions instead of reacting emotionally. So stay with me because what you're about to learn might completely change the way you see human behavior. Let's begin. Reverse psychology is the act of encouraging someone to do the opposite of what you actually want, knowing that their natural tendency is to resist being controlled. Instead of directly asking someone to do something, you suggest the opposite, expecting that they'll choose your original goal on their own. At first, this sounds almost too simple to work, but the reason it works lies deep inside the human mind. Every one of us values freedom. We like believing that our choices belong to us. The moment someone threatens that freedom by giving orders, many people experience what psychologists call a natural resistance. Suddenly, following the instruction feels like losing control, while doing the opposite feels like reclaiming independence. This reaction isn't limited to children. Adults experience it every day, often without realizing it. Imagine a teenager whose parents constantly say, "You can't stay out late." Instead of accepting the rule, the teenager often feels an even stronger desire to stay out longer. Not because staying out is important, but because freedom becomes the real issue. The same thing happens in workplaces when managers become too controlling. Employees often lose motivation, not because they dislike the work, but because they feel their choices are being taken away. Reverse psychology cleverly uses this predictable reaction. Instead of forcing, it creates space for people to convince themselves. And when people believe an idea is their own, they commit to it much more strongly. One of the oldest examples of reverse psychology comes from childhood stories. Think about Tom Sawyer. Instead of begging his friends to help paint a fence, he acted as though painting the fence was a rare privilege that only a lucky person could enjoy. Suddenly, everyone wanted to do the work for him. Nothing about the task changed. Only the perception changed. This teaches us an important lesson. People don't always respond to facts. They respond to how those facts are presented. This is why reverse psychology is often more effective than direct persuasion. Businesses understand this better than anyone. Have you ever seen a product labeled limited edition or only 3 left in stock? The message isn't directly telling you to buy it. Instead, it's creating the fear that you might lose the opportunity. Suddenly, something you didn't even need becomes something you don't want to miss. Social media works the same way. A creator might say, "Most people won't understand this," or "Only smart people will finish watching this video." Instantly, viewers feel challenged. They want to prove they belong to that special group. Once again, reverse psychology quietly influences behavior without giving direct commands. Relationships also provide interesting examples. Imagine someone constantly asking their partner to spend more time together. The more they ask, the more pressure the other person may feel. But if they stop insisting and focus on enjoying their own life, the partner often becomes naturally curious and starts investing more attention. The absence of pressure creates attraction. Of course, this isn't magic. It's simply human psychology responding differently when freedom is respected instead of challenged. Parents sometimes use reverse psychology too. A parent might casually say, "I don't think you're ready to clean your room by yourself yet." Instead of hearing an order, the child hears a challenge. Suddenly, cleaning the room becomes an opportunity to prove capability. This works especially well with children who naturally want to show independence. However, it must always be used carefully because children eventually recognize manipulation if it's overused. Trust is always more valuable than clever tricks. Reverse psychology isn't about deceiving people. At its best, it's about understanding motivation. Now here's something even more interesting. Reverse psychology doesn't work equally on everyone. Some people are naturally more independent and resistant to authority. These individuals are much more likely to react against direct commands. Others are more cooperative and respond better to straightforward communication. That's why using reverse psychology without understanding the person can easily backfire. Imagine telling someone, "You probably shouldn't apply for that dream job." A highly competitive person might immediately submit the application just to prove you wrong. But someone with low confidence might simply believe you and never apply. The exact same words produce completely different outcomes depending on personality. This is why emotional intelligence is so important. Understanding people is always more powerful than memorizing techniques. Another reason reverse psychology works is because people hate feeling manipulated, even when they aren't actually being manipulated. The human brain constantly protects its sense of autonomy. Whenever we believe someone is trying to control us, we instinctively push back. Advertisers know this. Skilled negotiators know this. Great leaders know this. Instead of forcing agreement, they ask questions, create curiosity, and allow people to reach conclusions on their own. The idea feels self-created, making it much stronger than any command could ever be. Interestingly, reverse psychology can even affect ourselves. Have you ever told yourself, "I'm definitely not going to check my phone for the next hour," only to find yourself thinking about your phone every few minutes? Sometimes our own minds rebel against our own restrictions. This is why flexible goals often work better than strict rules. Instead of saying, "I can never eat junk food again," saying, "I'll choose healthier meals most of the time," reduces resistance and makes long-term success much easier. The way we speak to ourselves matters just as much as the way others speak to us.